Hello and welcome to another K12Press Webmaster Hub video tutorial. Today we're going to be going over creating an engaging school news slider for your school website using Divi. So really what you want to do is use a news slider to be able to keep the content on your website fresh. Specifically blog modules on your home page or another dedicated page where you want to have dynamic updating content that's showing that the website is alive and living and constantly being updated. And the best way to do that is by creating school news blogs and having that information show using Divi modules on your home page. So since this is a Divi tutorial, the requisite you're going to have for your school website, it's going to have to be a WordPress website using the Divi theme. Now it's always best if you have the K12Press plugin library installed, because some of the modules that you may see in this tutorial will be available there, so that will just make sure you have everything that you need in order to move forward. But for all intents and purposes, you just need to have a WordPress website with the Divi theme installed to follow along on this tutorial. So we're going to go to the XYZ Academy's demo site here. This is a K12Press demo site to where we film a lot of these tutorials, and we're going to scroll down and you'll see underneath the events and activities I have a couple of sections here under XYZ news and activities. So the first module that we're going to talk about will be your post slider module. This actually is a slider like you see on most of the websites that will automatically rotate through any number of blog posts that you've selected, or even underneath here you see where there's three modules. These are called blog modules, and you can signify different categories of blogs or information like that. And you can see like this may be your school news category, and it shows the most recent school news category. You have the students XYZ fall robotics competition, so this could be like athletics or anything like that, and you can show the most recent news articles from that category. On this third one I've actually used all categories, but I'm just showing the first three posts, and it kind of looks like an RSS feed. It just shows the titles here. To get started, I'm actually going to change this to maybe a seasonal category that shows some of the information within here, and I'm going to click on that gear icon and just show where you can select that you're going to want to use posts here, because you're going to have blog posts in order to do this tutorial. And right now it has all categories selected. I'm going to just select seasonal here, and I'm going to remove that post count and put it to 1. And a few of the things we want to be able to show here is elements. Under elements, we're going to show the featured image. And to make it look like the others, we want to make sure that we're showing the excerpt there. And we're going to turn off pagination because we're only showing one article. And you can see now that this all looks pretty uniform. We have school news, we have robotics or any type of athletics or sports. We have the seasonal stuff. So we just got through doing the marching parade for the Christmas Lights Festival or whatnot, and you would be able to select that category and put it there. Underneath here I have a button that just says more headlines. What that would do is actually take you to the blog page on your school website that lists out all your blog articles. But you use these to be able to show this. Now you don't have to signify or denote exactly what category you want. You can make them all categories, and you can show the first three. But if you set these all up for all categories and to show one blog post, well, they're all going to show the approaching end of the third 6 weeks post here. And you're going to have that on all three. So one of the tricks that you want to use on this blog module is click that gear icon, and you can offset. You can go down here to where it says post offset number. So if all three of these were showing the first post, you'd just say offset this one by 1, and it would show this second post. And then you would go over here to the settings of your third one, and you would offset it by 2. That way it always shows the first 3 posts of this. Now this is only something you have to do when you use that blog module. And to show you what that blog module looks like, we're just going to click on plus. And right there, that's that blog module. So to insert that, you would select the blog settings, and then you can go down here and just go through and set up all the stuff that we've set up for the other stuff. And you'll notice that I've changed the title. Well, that's all in design. You can go into the design tab here, and you can change the layout, the overlay. You can use a grid layout if you want to have multiple show there. You can have an image overlay or some type of design element gradient overlay or some type of button there to be able to click on. But I go into title text and I just change that to be something that fits more of your theme or your branding. And I've set that for all these. And then you can go through and you can set things like the spacing to make sure that we have a little bit of space on either side of the modules here. But we're going to go ahead and just delete this guy. And we're going to take a look at the other way to do this. And that's with the slider option. And the slider option, to show you what that looks like, we're just going to click on Add New Module. We're going to scroll all the way down to Post Slider. So that's what this module is. Post Slider, you select that. You tell it how many posts that you want. Say we want the first 5, but I've only got 3 sample blog posts here. So we're going to say first 3. We want it from all categories, or you could just select school news or whatever you want there. You can order them by new to old or old to new or most viewed or the ones with the most comments, things like that. You want to show the excerpt. Well, that's up to you, but I like to show the excerpt, and it shows the first like 240 characters or something like that. Well, you can show the length that you want here, so it's by default 270 characters. And you can offset them. So if you have another module on that page that always shows that first one and it doesn't change and it shows the newest news item, and then underneath that you want to show a slider that rotates through the next few blog posts, well, you'd offset this one by 1, so this would show the next 3 that would be in your element there. And of course, just like any module, you have that design tab to where you can go and change the look and feel of not only how much information is shown here. If you'll notice on the one I have up here, I remove all the metadata there. So I go on content and I go down here to elements and I remove a lot of this stuff. So if I want to remove the post meta, well, I'd remove that there. You see behind the module settings there, you see that removed in the background. You can change the button. You can remove the button. If you don't want a button there, you can actually tell it that you want to remove that button by going into content, and you can have the button there to where you change everything. You can also talk about what links you want it to go to. So if you want it to go to, not just that one post, but anytime they click on any of this post, it takes them to the home page of that blog. You can have it set to that. So that's something that you're going to want to play around with and get the right look and feel that matches your brand or identity for your school there. And some other things that you want to look at here would be, removing a lot of that information, changing the spacing, and then if you want it to rotate on its own, you can go into design and go into animation, and you can click on automatic animation. And what this is going to do is let it scroll automatically, and it's set to 7,000 milliseconds, which is 7 seconds. And it'll go through those, and you can have it where it stops and pauses on hover, or if you toggle that, you can continue it to where even if you're interacting with that slide, it will, 7 seconds goes up, it will actually automatically slide over to the next one. You can see by default it has some neat little animations as it goes through, and it just kind of rises that text up and fades it in. You can even change all that within that animation tab. However, this is something that takes a little bit of playing around with. Look at it, see if it works for you. Like I said, all you need to do is have some blog posts, and it's helpful if you take those blog posts and you put them in categories. That way you can fine-tune exactly what you want those to look like. But it's a really good way to get information out there on your website, make it look fresh and engaging. This is how you reach out to your community and you show them the things that are most important, the things that are coming up. A great blog post category would be announcements, and you could have one block that's just announcements and slider that goes through announcements. And this can be, of course, on your district's homepage, or it can be on the homepage of your individual campuses or schools, and be able to use that. But those two modules are very helpful. That's the blog post module or the post slider module. And each one of those, you have similar uses and definitely similar settings, but they both have a little bit of a different way they go through it. At any rate, As always, as you're looking through all this and you're changing it up, you're going to want to make sure that you save up and test it on, mobile views and tablet views and things like that. So make sure that you're going through and testing this out and previewing the page to ensure that it's polished and functional. But if you can pull these off, and they're pretty easy to pull off. And like I said before, when you're working with this, I kind of like the layout where you can set up the different categories of which blog posts you want to show the most recent of. But it's a good way to be able to get the information out there and in front of your community. So I would like to mention that, if you have any questions or thoughts on what a post versus a page is, you can look back at some of our Webmaster Hub tutorials in the past and be able to see. I'll link to those in the description below, but you can see what is the actual difference between a post versus a page and how do you set up a blog. Well, those are tutorials that we've had in the past. So if you found this tutorial helpful, please like and subscribe. I feel like K12Press Solutions on YouTube or on the website would be a wealth of information for you. So thank you very much for your time and have a great day.